Hello and welcome to another episode of KG Cam, another math lesson. Here we go. What I want to do is make use of factoring. So what's the point of factoring? We saw that you can find the x-intercepts by factoring. So now if we have the x-intercepts, we can graph. One of the things is if you find the x-intercepts, you also need to find another point. We need 3 points to graph a quadratic, unlike lines where you need only 2 points. So we're going to be using factoring to find x-intercepts, and then we're going to be using the x-intercepts to find a vertex and then graphing. So here's our first example. So for each quadratic given in standard form, write the equation in factored form and state the x-intercepts, axis of symmetry, the fold line in the form of x equals a number, and the vertex using the graph. Okay, so let's go. Here is a trinomial. We know how to factor these by finding out what adds to this number and what multiplies to this number. So you might call that, you can find factors of this. -4 and 2 work. So x minus 4 and x plus 2. This is not accurate at all. That's why I need to get a tablet soon. Here we are. Well, there's our factored form. Okay, they both represent the same quadratic below. Okay, let's just begin by factoring each of these. Now this one, remember that anytime there's a negative out in front or a number out in front, we have to factor that out. So it seems funny, but we have to factor out the negative. So we get x squared. Okay, so what I'm doing is taking everything and dividing by -1. Divide 9 by -1 and we get -9. Okay, we're not done yet. Now we can factor this more. This is a difference of squares, right? We have x squared here, 9. They both have nice square roots, and there's a minus in between. So this is really negative. Leave the number out in front, ignore it, then factor x plus 3 and x minus 3. Okay, and you can see the graph below represents this equation, and the equation above it, standard and factored form. Okay, third one. This one's similar to this one, where we have a number out in front that's not positive 1, so we have to factor that out. So, and don't just write the rest down. We have to make sure we divide everything by the common factor 2. So that's -6x. And positive 5. Okay, we're not fully factored, we're only partially factored. So keep going. This is a trinomial now in the brackets. Leave the 2 out front, don't do anything with it. And x minus 5 and x plus 5 should work. Okay. Or sorry, x minus 5 and x minus 1. There we go. Alright. Now that we have everything in factored form, in fully factored form, let's state the x-intercepts. We could locate them from the factored form equation or from the graph. So here are my x-intercepts, so I'm going to write them as points. So -2 is one of my x-intercepts, but we're writing that as coordinates is -2, 0. X-intercepts always have a second number of 0 because the y value or the height is 0. It's on the x-axis. The other one is 4, 0. We'll fill in all of these. Alright, x-intercepts over here. 3 and -3. So -3, 0, and 3, 0. And this one is 1 and 5. So 1, 0, and 5, 0. Okay. And you can see that 1 and 5 are coming from the opposite numbers of this. 3 and -3 are coming from here, the opposites. And 4 and -2 are coming from the opposites of the factored form. Okay, so factored form can help us too. Axis of symmetry, that is the fold line. So that would be this line here, or this line, or this line. The line over which you could fold the quadratic and get the same thing on the other side. Okay, the line of reflection, I guess you could call it. That is, an equation that's vertical like that has an x equals equation. So here x is 1, Here x is 0. It is that the axis of symmetry is the y-axis. The axis of symmetry over here is 3. Okay. And now the vertex is the highest or lowest point. It's right there. That's 1, -9. Excuse my writing. The vertex over here is 0, 9. Okay, isn't that the same thing as the y-intercept? Sure is. And the vertex over here is 3, comma, -8. So you go left or right, stay left or right first, then up or down.